Welcome to another episode of Bella in Your Business. My name is Bella Vasta, and today I'm going to take it back to the really basics. I had a Mother's Day situation that kind of reminded me that maybe we just need to start from scratch on the AI. In addition to that, which I'm going to tell you about today, I've also got some questions about like what is GPT um, or how do I use ChatGPT correctly? So I thought I would break it down. I'm going to basically talk today about what is ChatGPT, why AI for pet sitters matters right now. Okay. What happened during Mother's Day? What is a GPT for pet sitters? How to create an AI for pet sitters that sounds like you, and what happens next with AI and pet sitters. Okay. So there's going to be like a lot that I'm going to cover, but I think it's really going to help you just wrap your head around it. That's my intention. And so if you've heard about ChatGPT, but are still unsure about what it actually is or how AI for pet sitters can transform your daily operations, this episode's for you. Don't worry, you're not alone. And I promise that by the end of our time together, you'll not only understand it, but you might actually be a little excited if I do my job correctly. But the big picture is you don't need to be a tech wizard, but you do need to start planning with AI now. And the pet sitting industry isn't immune to technology shifts, and the AI tools specifically designed for pet sitters can save you hours every single week while making your clients and their fur babies even happier. But let me be real with you for a second. The gap between the pet sitting business that uses AI and those that don't is going to get wider. And I'm like literally warning you right now. I am shouting from the rooftops. It's why I've talked about AI in almost every single episode. I had a commenter on episode 434, I think, that said it sounds like this is turning into an AI podcast. And she's right. It is. And you know why? Because I'd be doing you a disservice if I'm talking about the same old things that I've been talking about for the past 400 episodes. If you want episodes that have nothing to do with AI, go check out those other episodes, but they're going to be outdated and they're not going to serve you right. No business coach and no advisor or consultant should be telling you about how to build your business without AI in this moment. And yes, that is a hill I will die on. So what's coming in this episode is I'll break down what ChatGPT actually is, why AI for pet sitters matters specifically, and how to create a version that sounds exactly like you. Like I want you to think of AI like it's like a little baby right now that you're growing, and it only gets smarter and it only grows bigger if the more that you feed it, okay? You have to feed it this information. So let's start feeding it, shall we? So what's ChatGPT? Let's start at like the very basics, okay? Let's demystify what ChatGPT is once for all and for all, especially for pet sitters looking to leverage AI in their business. First of all, think of it like this. It's like a brand. ChatGPT is like a brand of AI. Like Kleenex is a brand of tissue. People say, "Can you hand me a Kleenex?" when they really mean, "Can you hand me a tissue?" Similarly, people ask, "I'll ask ChatGPT," when what they really mean is, "I'll ask an AI assistant," because they come in many different fashions and you probably actually use a lot of different ones without even realizing you do. So what does ChatGPT even stand for? If you want to know, because I also got this question this week, it stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer. Sexy, huh? But it's just really a technical way of saying a language tool that talks back like a human. It can create text based off of what it learned during the pre-training, okay? Basically, the entire internet, okay, including tons of pet care information. And the transformer is a specific type of an AI model that it uses. Now, ChatGPT isn't the only option out there. It is the most popular right now. But there's Claude, which is fantastic for longer, more nuanced conversations about pet care protocols. There's Gemini from Google. There's Magi, which has all of them, which you've heard me talk about. Um, and right now, ChatGPT is kind of like what BlackBerry was to cell phones in the early 2000s, or what Apple is today, right? It's the name that everyone knows. The evolution of these tools, it's been incredible to watch. And it's like literally, I'm not kidding, there is AI news every single day. At first, it was just following patterns and basically predicting what you were going to write next. For those of you who are with me in 2022, 2023, we were using Jasper, and that was helping us create stuff. But now it's becoming more of what experts call agentic. Do you know what agentic is? I didn't. It means that it can take actions on your behalf, not just answer questions. It doesn't just stop there. So when it's like, okay, yeah, we'll do this SOP. Would you also like me to create a mind map out of it? Think about what this means for pet sitters. AI tools that can write your clients emails about their pets, create social media posts about your pet sitting services that sound exactly like you. The problem is that people are using it. It doesn't sound like them. It sounds so generic. And it can even help handle scheduling conflicts between multiple pet sitting appointments. We're in the early days of all of this. Now, the reason why this matters, I'm going to tell you an analogy I love. Okay. We are all in AI kindergarten right now. It's just starting. It's not too late to get into it. Every pet sitting business owner I know is curious about it, at least the ones that I know. And they're starting to learn the basics, making mistakes, figuring things out, being in a community where it's safe to do things. Heck, tomorrow I'm leading a training inside my mastermind on how to create Joey Coleman's 8 phases of how never to lose a customer. The problem is 4 of those phases are mind bending and it takes a lot of creativity. And that's where people would get tripped up and they never were able to create those before. But now, tomorrow, after our 1 hour session, there's no reason why people aren't going to have this because we're going to do it together. So, yes, we are still learning the same kind of things and we are still going deep on it, but we're using AI as a tool to help us, just like you would use Grammarly to make sure that your grammar and your spelling is correct in your emails. But what's fascinating is that pet sitters are literally building digital clones of themselves. Not to trick people, because that would be unethical. And I did an episode on that, but to extend their capabilities. Imagine having an AI assistant who knows exactly how you would respond to a client question about medication administration for their cat, or what to say to a longtime client that asks for a last minute dog walking booking. And then there's an ethical point. Always disclose something when it's generated by an AI bot. There's nothing wrong with using these tools. They're just an extension of you as a pet care professional. But transparency builds trust with your pet sitting clients. One pet sitter I know uses AI to write her weekly check in emails to pet owners who are traveling. The AI knows her voice, pet care terminology so well that the client feels like they're getting personal updates about their dogs and cats, but she's able to generate them in seconds instead of spending an hour each night typing them out. This gives her more time to actually care for the animals and take those photos that the clients love and the videos. Okay, what it also does is it allows her in her email to say, hey, what are the most important news about travel right now? Because she does a lot of pet sitting. So things like the Atlanta airport closing down the other day, or the Newark debacle with no, I'm sorry, with the air traffic controlling. That's going to be stuff that's really interesting. And you could have AI weekly deliver you the most important travel news. You don't just have to talk about pet stuff. Let me tell you what happened this weekend for Mother's Day. So I was gathering my mom came and my aunt and my cousin and my aunt who's been a real estate agent for 20 years. She was telling us how she started using ChatGPT and she was like, "Oh my god, it's so amazing." She inputs property details and within seconds gets perfectly formatted property description, social media posts, emails to potential buyers, and what used to take her a couple hours now takes her a couple minutes. And she's saving thousands of dollars in admin costs because she's not having to ask other people to write this stuff for her. I immediately thought about how pet sitters could use the same approach when for creating detailed pet profiles or service descriptions in a fraction of the time. Imagine if you left a meet and greet or you had your staff leave a meet and greet and get on your chat GPT and say, "Hi, okay, so Fido," and then explain the whole routine and then make it make sense, which is one of my favorite prompts. Okay. and it puts it into that, and then you're able to put it into the notes. So you don't have to spend 20 minutes trying to type it and make it make sense and watch your spelling and your grammar and all that stuff. Okay. I've shown pet sitters how to clone their voice using personalized audio updates from pet parents while who are traveling, adding an extra personal touch to their services while adding um, without adding hours of work. Okay. And the biggest takeaway from this family conversation wasn't about the specific tools, it was about the mindset shift. My cousin, I took her into my office for like 20 minutes and we scrubbed the whole internet on all the interviews that she's been doing. She's like a really high rated yoga instructor and a chef. And we got all of that stuff and we had AI like interview her. And she was like, don't you feel guilty for not writing your own emails? And I'm like, absolutely not. I'm using a tool that literally is representing me because I taught it how to do that. And she was like, wow, that makes so much difference. And I'm so grateful to have these conversations because I'm so involved in it all the time that I sometimes forget like this is what people are thinking. Okay. And this is why and what inspired this episode. So let's take it a step further because in order for it to talk like you, most of the time you have to make a GPT. And so let's talk about specifically what a GPT is. It's like a custom personality or function of your that you create inside it that can be tailored specifically for pet care. Okay. ChatGPT is the general application made by OpenAI. Anyone can go to chat.openai.com and start using it. But if you get the plus plan, which is $20 or $25 a month, depending on if you're doing individual or business, or there's a $200 plan too, but you really don't need that. That's how you're able to do the GPTs. And side note, I also suggest you go into your settings and you say, not train it for everyone so that your information stays with yourself. Really big thing to know, if you are still using the free version of ChatGPT, first of all, why? It's only $20 a month. Second of all, anything you put in there it can show up on anyone else's devices and it's helping train the whole model. So that might be a little bit of a security. I wouldn't suggest it. So you have options for how to use AI for pet sitters through the GPT. First of all, if you're completely confused, I want you to go right now to jumpconsulting.net/ask BHPS. That's short for Bella's House and Pet Sitting. I made a GPT that you can go to that URL, it will bring it to you, and you can just ask it, how do I do a pet sit? How do I write a care note? It is for my old company that I sold in 2016. It is my old handbook and manual in there. And you can pretend you're an employee and ask it how to do the job. Okay. I taught a whole class on how to do this, but you can go ahead and jump in there and try it out for yourself. Jumpconsulting.net/ask BHPS. Okay. So second, you can create your own custom GPT for your pet sitting business. And when you do this, you can do it just to write care notes. You could do it for your staff so that they know how to do their job instead of having to go look through a handbook or manual. You can do it for how to create schedules, which we've done that in the mastermind, and equated for train tracks and the delays that train tracks do. You could do one for your weekly newsletters. You could do one for just about anything. What it comes down to is knowing how to give it instructions and how to give it the right information. Without those two critical things, that is actually the part that takes the most amount of time, then you'd be dead in the water. Okay. So if you can give it the right information, which means like gathering all the emails that you have written yourself, or maybe blogs that you've written yourself, if you've been interviewed, how you speak, all of this stuff, all of that is really, really important. And when you do that, it's going to be trained on how to sound exactly like you. All right. So first, when you create the GPT, you're going to need a prompt. And so what I would do is I would put all of your information into a thread. And then I would say, how would you prompt the GPT to talk like this person? And it will create the whole prompt for you. So you don't have to sit there and try to figure that out. Like, please don't do that. That's like way too much work. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take all that information and you're going to put it into a Google Doc and you're going to go and you're going to create your GPT. You're going to name it. You're going to put the prompt in where it says instruction, and where it says upload, you're going to upload that document, and bada bing, bada boom, you have your own GPT. It literally takes less than 5 minutes to create the GPT. The part that takes the most amount of time is formulating a large document with all of your stuff. And when I say large, I mean like 200, 300 pages. Because if you just give it a couple of emails, it's not going to do the job. All right. If this sounds like really crazy and too techy for you, I promise you it's not. I did an entire class on this. It's on my website. You can go to jumpconsulting.net/bot right now, and you could learn how to do your own. In that class, I teach you how to do a handbook and manual one, because I figure if you have a handbook and manual, that's easy just to dump it in there. If you're trying to make your own voice, you're going to follow the same exact steps. It's just the information that you put in that document is going to be different. Okay. So you can go to jumpconsulting.net/bot if you want to go play around and do it all on your own. Go for it. And so you've been building AI, hopefully, for your pet sitting business. The more information that you put into your AI, the better it's going to be when we get out of kindergarten as a collective society right now, and we move into 3rd grade and 4th grade and middle school. Because what's going to happen is the next step that's already happening. I mean, I just had George Thomas on my podcast 2 episodes ago, and he talked about cloning himself. Like literally cloning himself. Like you can call and talk to him on the phone. My friend Julia is doing this as well. In fact, I told them they should have their clones talk to each other. The only way you can do this is by having content of your own, whether it's written or it's spoken or you've spent time like training the model. So the more that you play with it, the more that you put into it, the better it's going to help you do things later on. This is going to compoundly help you in the future. And I'm telling you right now, I'm begging you to listen. Please. There's very few times that I can think of in the 20 years I've been doing this that I've told you to do something that has not paid off richly. This is literally going to cut your time, and everyone says they don't have time for anything, by about 70% if you use it correctly. This is not about pulling up a free chat GPT and saying, can you rewrite this email for me? Please. That is like daycare, which is before preschool, which is before kindergarten. And you're better than that. And I'm here to help guide you. If you are still want to sit on the fence and the sidelines, follow me on Instagram. Find me, Bella Vasta, on Instagram or Bella Vasta on Facebook. I am constantly posting about this, telling stories about my clients, telling stories about myself, and it will blow your mind what you can do. And I think you'll be really, really interested in, before AI, we always used to be like, oh my God, it's so much tech. I don't know. I can't tell you how to do Facebook ads because it is super crazy and complex. I can tell you how to do GPTs. I can tell you how to use Claude, Perplexity, ChatGPT, LuxFlora, HeyGen, 11 Labs, all of these things, because they're really easy. The hardest part is, are you willing to put the time in to build the foundation, to give it the information and the instruction? I'll tell you, if your answer is no, there's a lot of people that are going to say yes. And those people are going to be the people that are going to start getting light years ahead in their business. They're going to start doing things that you only wish that you could do. And I don't want you to be that person. So I'm not giving you something more to do. What I'm asking you to do is this is the time. This is the time to put it on your phone, stumble on it. When you're thinking about what should I make for dinner, ask it. When you're wondering, like me last week, how do I get this microwave unplugged and off of the wall? Took a picture of it, put it in a ChatGPT. You start using it in your personal life, you'll use it in your business life, you'll start stumbling on it. You'll get to parts where it's helping you do a lot of other things other than just emails to clients. And I'll tell you, every single week, I'm always blown away by my clients when I ask them on Sundays, so what did you use ChatGPT or AI for this week? And the things that they say are nothing short of inspiring and awestruck. You guys, this has been another episode of Bella in Your Business. Yes, it's about AI. No, we're not going to stop with AI, because if I really believe if you are not running your business using AI, then you are dying. And if you want to still be learning from me, but you don't want to hear anything about AI or how to leverage it, I have 400 episodes that I did not talk about AI at all. But this is going to be the place where you're going to get the most amount of information about AI, and I take requests too. So I'd love to hear what you think about this episode. I'd love to hear what questions you specifically have, and I'd love to give you a shout out. So feel free to message me on Instagram or Facebook, or shoot me an email, bella@jumpconsulting.net. If you want to join my community, come on in at jumpconsulting.net/mastermind. Or if you wanted that bot class, go to jumpconsulting.net/bot. This has been another episode of Bella in Your Business. Thank you for spending your time with me. Remember, when life gets you down, to always keep jumping. Bye now.